Hello guys, welcome back to this channel. Today we're reviewing Spider-Man Far From Home. Woohoo! So, not much else to say, but let's get started. And tomorrow you'll be seeing WANDAVISION reviews. So, hopefully maybe if I remember, I'll update the link in the description below. And don't forget to check out my MCU playlist, but let's get started. Starting off with what this movie's about. This movie's about Peter Parker, about Peter Parker, and he's on a school trip to Europe. Like, he was in Venice, Paris, I think he was in Berlin at one point. And I don't know if he was in Berlin. I can't remember. And then he was also in the Netherlands at one point. Anyway, but he's on a school trip to Europe, and then there's a problem in the way, and then S.H.I.E.L.D., well, not really S.H.I.E.L.D., and then there's a problem, and then Spider-Man, S.H.I.E.L.D., not really, S.H.I.E.L.D. is technically compromised if you go back to Winter Soldier, which I actually did watch this morning. But, so S.H.I.E.L.D.'s compromised already. Well, oh my god, what is wrong with me? So I'll just say S.H.I.E.L.D. because I don't know what the organization is. So they have Spider-Man's joining S.H.I.E.L.D. to help them stop whatever this is, and yeah, it invades the school trip pretty much. I made a lot of mistakes because I don't know what is going on with me. But that's what this movie's about. Now you have the good, and starting off the good, you have the fun. This movie's just such a fun film. Very nice kind of change of pace after Endgame. I think it's the middle of the three movies of 2019 in Marvel. And yeah, I mean, I'm just having a fun time. I don't know if it's quite as rewatchable as, let's say, Homecoming. I don't even think it's as good as Homecoming. But honestly, I just have a fun time with it. There's not really a moment where I'm just like, this is so boring, get back to the characters. And there are cringy moments here and there, but yeah. I think this movie is a ton of fun. Then you have the action. I think the action here is great. I thought a poster was going to fall, but we're good. So all the action sequences for the most part, especially that Mysterio sequence in the middle of the film, are pretty much great. I love the Mysterio sequence in the sequence where they take down the fire thing, and I think the action here really worked. It's really well shot. The effects look great. And the action here, I think, is great. I will say the action is better here than it was in Homecoming. Then you have the visuals. I think the visuals and CGI and effects for the Mysterio sequences here just really work. I think they're just as good as they were in, let's say, Endgame, Infinity War, Thor Ragnarok. A lot of the ones that just came right before. But the thing about this one is that they're pretty creative with what they're trying to do. And it really works. So, I mean, the visuals just work for me. Then you have the villain. And I think the villain here with Mysterio, I don't know if his plan is amazing, but I really like Gyllenhaal. Because I think the Mysterio character is alright. He's good, he's not great, but I love Gyllenhaal. He does such a great job playing, like, the hero switch to villain. I mean, I kind of predicted it, even though I haven't read Spider-Man comics. I kind of predicted it, that was going to happen. And, I mean, it doesn't really hurt the character or the film, but, I mean, it doesn't really improve the character either. But I don't mind the fact that he was a villain, but a lot of the problems I have with him go to the plot. I'll talk about that later. And the plot is just kind of a mess in this movie. So, overall, I think the villain works. Then you have the ending to the film. That post-credit scene is awesome. Probably my favorite one. That one, Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, or that Iron Man, Guardians of the Galaxy. So Dancing Baby Groot, Fury talking to Tony, and Spider-Man getting revealed that he's Peter Parker. Also, I think the Squirrel one is also pretty good too. This movie just has two great post-credit scenes, especially the one with Spider-Man. So the ending of the film really works. I cannot wait for Spider-Man 3 because of this ending. If this ending was taken out of the film, I wouldn't have liked it. And also the ending did set up the secret invasion show with the squirrels kind of invading. I'll talk about that when I rank all the Marvel shows and my excitement. And also with WandaVision, probably Falcon Winter Soldier will be out by the time I rank that. I'll just be ranking how excited I was before, and I'll give my thoughts on WandaVision tomorrow. And yeah, then you have the humor. This one, I don't know if it's funnier than Homecoming. I can't decide whether it is or not. But for the most part, it's really funny. I like the way they did to the blip or the snap from Thanos. I love the way they kind of played that off. It was pretty funny. And most of the humor involving the teenagers works better here than it does in Homecoming, in my opinion. And honestly, like, all that stuff really works. I mean, it's not perfect, but the humor here really works. And unlike a movie like Thor Ragnarok, where I feel like the humor gets in the way of some of the drama, here they're kind of, I guess, using it pretty nicely to their advantage. And with kind of being a comedy-esque film, it works. Then you have the mixed stuff, and starting up the mixed stuff, you have the globe-trotting aspect. Really, the only thing I have the mixed stuff. I don't know. I kind of wanted a traditional Spider-Man movie. I mean, I heard that in this it's gonna be a trilogy by the end of this year, hopefully. But they try to make it gear away from the Raimi and Webb Spider-Man films, which I think is a decent move with Homecoming. This one kind of should have done that. But I don't mind the idea of doing a school trip. That's a fun idea. It doesn't work as well as it's trying to, but if you're a huge fan of the Raimi films, like me, don't really like Spider-Man 3, but I'll review, that's coming, I don't know how long, but it's coming. I'll keep it at that. Because being a fan of the Raimi films, I don't know if these Homecoming or Far From Home really kind of stack up to them, especially Far From Home. I mean, it's still a great movie, but like it doesn't stack up to the Raimi ones. Or if you're not familiar with the director, the Tobey Maguire ones. So, I mean, I don't mind the globetrotting aspect, but it doesn't really feel like a really good Spider-Man film. It's a good movie, not a great Spider-Man film overall, but that's not really my flaws with the film. I can kind of get over that, at least watching this as a movie. So now you have the bad, and starting at the bad, you have the plot. The plot in this film, I'm kind of mad to say it, I'm sorry, Jonah, but I think the plot in this film is terrible. Like, look, I think at first it's pretty good. Like, just the plot involving the Edith glasses is just terrible. Like, I just hate it. Like, that's what bogs the film down for me. And then then Spider-Man did something stupid, he has to do that. Like, that kind of stuff worked in Homecoming. It does not really work well here, because they're just playing it off too much, and it just doesn't work. Like, I don't mind the plot involving the Elementals, or the one involving Spider-Man going to Europe. I like both of those. But the plotline of the Edith glasses, involving the end of the film with Mysterio, I don't mind Mysterio, but that has nothing to do with it. But the plot overall of this film is a mess at best. And overall, I really don't like the plot of this film. It is just like, it's just not good. Like, it just doesn't really work for an MCU movie or a Spider-Man film. Not the worst plot. I think it's the second worst, in fact, when I rank the plots of the MCU movies. Actually, the overall plot, like, there's kind of three main plots. The globetrotting one, the Spider-Man taking down the Elementals, and the Edith plotline. Two of those, I'd say, actually work. The third one doesn't work whatsoever. And it's what bogs the film down. Okay. I crapped on it too much. I don't think it's horrible. It's not like, I don't know, like so egregious to me that it like brings the film down to a 0. I don't think it's that bad. It's not that bad, but it's not good. It's bad. I'll keep it at bad. And it's just like, it ruins the film because of what could have been a great film when you could have focused on the Elementals. Then you have the Edith Glasses plotline, and it just does not work whatsoever. And let's move on. For this movie's final score, I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I still really like it. I think it's still a fun film. But just the Edith Glasses plotline is what really ruined it. But the good for sure outweighs the bad. And I had fun with it. And I'm sorry, Jonah, I don't think it's quite as good as Avengers Endgame. And I think it's the middle of 2019. I think 2019 Marvel's a little better than 2018 because I like Spider-Man Far From Home more than both Black Panther and Ant-Man and the Wasp. But anyway, I'm not going to talk about that. I'm kind of relating to that too much. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe and comment down below. And I'll see you guys next time. Adios.